Good morning students, welcome back. In the last class we have discussed about the topic of VAS. Also it is one of the category of your SBAS systems. So SBAS systems are your satellite based augmentation system, correct? So in that one we have seen how it will be working, what is the architecture. So in previous classes we have seen the architecture of your SBAS, then we have seen the architecture of your VAS also, and what are the benefits of your VAS, that also we have completed in yesterday's class. So these are all the categories of your SBAS system. Means first we have seen the augmented system. This whole chapter is about your augmentation system. So in this augmentation system is again divided into two types. One is GBAS and second one is your SBAS. Okay, SBAS is nothing but satellite based augmentation system. So in that one we have four categories, out of which first one WAS, that is wide area augmentation system, that we have discussed yesterday along with the architecture and the benefits of it. Now in today's class we are going to discuss about GAGAN. Okay, this is second category of your satellite based augmentation system. What actually is augmentation system? I hope everyone remembers the definition of your augmentation system. Augmentation, just normally in terms basic definition or the basic thing, if you go, that is nothing but the improvement. So in case of your GNSS or the global navigation, it is the improving method of your navigation system in terms of different attributes, like there will be accuracy, integrity, or availability, reliability, etc. So all these terms or all these attributes we have been increasing by using your different kinds of augmentation systems. So today we are going to discuss the second augmentation system, that is your GAGAN. GAGAN stands for the GPS aided geo augmented navigation. So what is actually GAGAN? GAGAN is abbreviated as GPS aided geo augmented navigation. So what does it mean? Please do concentrate on the name. So what we have said in VAS, it is an aid for the navigation system, correct? It is also navigation system, but it will be aiding mostly your GPS signals. What are the GPS signals that are coming from the satellites, that will be aided by using this second augmentation system, that is your GAGAN. So the abbreviation of your GAGAN is GPS aided geo augmented system. Okay, geo augmented navigation system. Or this is nothing, geo is nothing but geostationary satellites which will be having there. So your GPS signals will be aided by using your geostationary satellites, and they will be improving your overall navigation. And the main objectives of your GAGAN are, they will be providing you the accuracy, they will be providing integrity, continuity, availability, and time to alert in navigation. Okay, these are all the objectives that are given by your GAGAN system. Okay, this GAGAN, and they are mostly importantly, this GAGAN is used by our India only. Okay, the ISRO people and AAI, they have invented this GAGAN. Okay, this navigation system was initiated by your ISRO as well as the AAI system. AAI is nothing but Airport Authority of India. They both in combination have developed this GAGAN, GPS aided geo augmented navigation, which will be giving you the objectives of good accuracy, integrity, continuity, availability, and time to alert in navigation system. And it requires accuracy of 16 meters horizontal and 6 meters in vertical. So when it comes to the equators and poles, if you go on to see their latitudes and longitudes, so they will be accurate at 16 meters at the horizontal part and 6 meters at the vertical part. So I have found some definitions and how this actually GAGAN will be working. So what actually GAGAN is? GAGAN is an acronym or the abbreviation of your GPS aided geo augmented system, GAGAN. So it is a space-based augmentation system. As I said, it is a category of SBAS jointly developed by ISRO as well as the AAI to provide the best possible navigation service over India FIR, that is Flight Information Region, with the capability of expanding the neighboring FIRs. Okay, as to expand the other FIRs like flight information regions, you have to expand, and to give best navigation services, this GAGAN has been developed by the two people, that are your ISRO as well as the AAI. The AAI is nothing but Airport Authority of India. So Gagan is a system of satellites. So it means it will be consisting of satellites, ground stations that provide GPS signal correction and giving you the better position accuracy. So I have listed some of the objectives of your Gagan. So these are this here also if you see the architecture, similarly it will also be having the satellites. Okay, you will be having the ground stations that will be providing you with the GPS signal corrections, whatever the errors that you have got, and again you will be getting the better position accuracy. Okay, GPS alone does not meet the ICAO's navigation requirements for accuracy, integrity and availability. Okay, so what does ICAO stands? Do you remember what is ICAO? International Civil Aviation Organization. At the introduction part of your argumentation, at the third chapter's introduction part, I have told about this one. So this ICAO people have made mandatory to adopt a global navigation system as a primary navigation system. So this so ICAO are the one who have started to make compulsory that everyone should be using this global navigation. So this GPS alone does not meet the ICAO's navigation requirements for accuracy, integrity and availability, but this Gagan corrects for GPS errors caused by the ionospheric disturbances, timing and satellite orbit errors, and also it provides some vital information regarding the health of each satellite. So what actually it is doing here? So what actually it means that alone GPS cannot meet what ICAO's requirements are. What are ICAO's? International Civil Aviation Organization. Their requirements are to get proper accuracy, integrity and availability. So alone this GPS cannot meet or cannot get all these requirements. So this GPS will be using, or this Gagan will be using, or this Gagan will be helping out for the correction, which will be correcting the GPS signals errors which are caused by the atmospheric disturbances like ionospheric disturbances, are the errors that are caused by the timing, and the satellite orbital errors that also will be corrected by the Gagan. Also it provides a vital information regarding the health of each satellite. Health in a sense whether it is in working condition or not. Okay, now after I was continuously telling about the health of the satellites. So now I think you have got an idea what actually health of satellite means. It is working condition or not, any part of that is that has been blocked, either it is giving proper information, or like it is communicating properly or not. Everything has to be everything comes under the health of that particular satellite. So this Gagan will be helping the GPS for the correction of all the different kinds of errors that will be occurring. Along with that, it also gives you the vital information regarding the health of each satellites. Okay, so this was the introduction part of your Gagan. That is what is Gagan actually? GPS aided augmented navigation system. So as I have said, this Gagan is jointly implemented by the ISRO and the airport authorities of India, and mostly this is located at the India itself. Okay, this is supported to India only. Okay, now see where these services will be given. Means this Gagan will be giving services to which kind of areas or where it will be giving. So mostly we use in aviation. Along with that one, it also gives the services for the forest management, railway signaling. Okay, very importantly, then the scientific research of atmospheric studies, like you are going to study atmosphere's weather conditions, etc. So for all that kind of information, the services will be provided by Gagan. Then natural resources and land management also it gives the services, location based services obviously, then for the mobile and tourism also. For all these are the services which are offered by the Gagan. Now let's see very importantly how it works. Okay, so before we move on to how it works or the architecture of the Gagan, I'll show you the figure. So this is the architecture of the Gagan. Okay, it will be also consisting of the ground segment, space segment as well as the user segments. But when you compare, I'll give the links of the last two, SBAS as well as the VAS architecture. You see over there what are the ground segment will be consisting of. Here also you have the reference stations. Okay, there also you had reference stations, then you had in SBAS, then in VAS or the wireless augmented network, there also you had the wireless area reference stations. Okay, here you are having different reference stations. I'll show you, I'll clearly explain you about that one. That is INMCC, you will be having one. INLUS, that is one more. INRES. These are the different reference stations or the ground stations that will be having. Then you will be having the uplink stations over here. Here these are the uplink ground station and uplink station that is given to the user segment, and these are your space segments, which will be consisting of the GPS satellites as well as your geostationary satellites. But do remember that when we have seen the architecture of your VAS, there we used only one geostationary satellite. But see the difference, the Gagan here we are using are 3 geostationary satellites we are using. Okay, so in the space segments you will be having a GPS constellation which is of 4 satellites, and geostationary satellites are 3 here, and you will be having reference stations and also ground uplink station. Okay, so I'll show how actually this will be working. See the architecture of the Gagan, which will be consisting of 3 segments as I have said. So first space segment, it will be consisting of the geo payloads. Geo payloads are nothing but which will be broadcasting the augmented message, okay, on the GPS, on your GPS signals. Okay, so geo payloads are nothing but which will be broadcasting your augmentation message on the GPS signals that will be having in the space segments, means all the geostationary satellites. Then in the ground segments, as I have said, there are 3 different stations, reference stations only. So in that one you will be having first one Indian reference station, that is INREs. Okay, these are the reference stations. Go back to your wireless augmented system, there you had the reference stations, but the name was your wide area reference station, right? I hope you remember that one. I'll give the link also. Then you, in the second you will be having the Indian Mission Control Center. There in that one you had your master station, master control station, so similar to that one. So it is given as INMCC, which means Indian Mission Control Center. So it will be controlling all the things. Then third one you are having Indian Navigation Uplink Stations. There you had ground uplink stations in the VAS. So here you will be having the same thing, Indian Navigation Uplink Stations. Okay, then these are the 3 segments which are present in your ground segment. One is your reference stations, second one is your control stations CC, then you will be having the uplink stations. Okay, then the third segment is your user segment, that is nothing but your GNSS receiver. Okay, the receiver part, the user segment is your receiver part. So these are the segments that are present in the architecture of your Gagan. So we can see here the Gagan space segments, which are consisting of GPS satellites, a constellation of 24, and 3 geostationary satellites you are having. Okay, these are constellation as 3 geostationary satellites. That the satellites are the GSAT 8, GSAT 10, and GSAT 15. Okay, which will be at 55 degrees. This GSAT 8 is at 55 degrees at longitude, and 82 degrees longitude you will be finding GSAT 10, and at 83 degrees longitude you will be getting your GSAT 15. Okay, these are your space segments. When it comes to the user segment, this will be the users, the civil aviation aircrafts or any other application that you are using, that one. And when it comes to the Gagan ground stations, as I have said, there are reference stations. Okay, Indian Navigation Reference Station, then you will be having master control centers, then you will be having uplink stations. So here we are using 8 reference stations here. Okay, 8 reference stations have been used, 2 control centers will be used, and you are using 3 uplink stations. Okay, this is a bit better when you compare to the last ones. Okay, see this I have taken to you to the SBAS architecture, where you had only one geostationary satellite, only one uplink station, 4 reference stations you had, and 1 master station. And the GPS satellites are the same 24 constellation. Out of that we are using 4. Okay, this is the user segment. This was the architecture of your SBAS 1. Then I'll also show you the architecture of your VAS. So this was the architecture of the VAS, where here also you had GPS satellite constellation, 1 ground earth station, that is uplink station, wide area master station. Instead of wide area master station, what you are having here, your control center. Okay, INCC. So here you had wide area reference station, there you are having Indian Navigation Reference Station, INRS. okay, RC. So these are the same similar things, but it will be different in numbers depending upon the applications or the services that you are going to provide. So this was the architecture of your VAS, and these are the segments which are present in your Gagan. So 8 reference station it is considering, 2 control centers it is considering, and 3 uplink units it is considering. Plus along with that one, 3 geostationary satellites have been used here, and you are using 24 GPS core constellations. Okay, total 24 GPS constellations have been used. Now let's see the working of this particular Gagan. First I'll give you the explanation briefly about the architecture, then I'll show you how the working is, because the figure is a bit larger over here, so it won't be covering. So this Gagan provides the augmentation information for the GPS receiver to enhance the accuracy as well as the reliability of the position estimates. So what is the main agenda of your Gagan? What it is providing? It gives you the information for the GPS receivers, means the receivers we are, so to enhance the accuracy and reliability of your position estimates. So the Gagan system architecture has 2 segments, one is ground segment, other is a space segment, and third one is also user segment. So here he has just given 2 segments. So at present the ground segment consisting of 15 reference stations. Some gives 15 reference stations, some gives 8 reference stations, so it completely depends. So if you consider in overall India, I am talking about overall India, so if you go see that, then you will be having 15 reference stations which are spread all over the India, and 3 control centers are there. 2 are in operation and 1 is in the shadow mode. In case of an emergency, that will be considered, and these 15 reference stations at various fixed positions will be receiving your GPS signals. Okay, so the location of the reference stations are precisely chosen by the survey so that any error in the received GPS signal can be detected as well as it can be corrected. Okay, I'll repeat it once again. So there are 3 segments in your Gagan architecture, which will be having your ground segment as well as the space segment. So in ground segment you will be having the reference stations as well as the control station. So these reference stations are spread all over the India, and they are located in such a way that all the GPS signal will be obtained there, and all the GPS signals can be detected from that particular location, and they can also be corrected. And you are having the 3 master control stations, and in that one 2 will be in operating, 1 is in the shadow. In case of any emergency or any one of is not working, in that particular conditions that can be used. Okay, so this is the architecture of that one. Now see here what actually happens. This GPS information which is collected by the reference stations is forwarded to your master control station or the master control center, mission control center also we can say that. The abbreviation of your INMCC is your Indian Mission Control Center. So it is the information from the GPS satellites is given to the your control center either by terrestrial or by the satellite communication network. This INMCC or the control center takes the GPS information and is processed, and corrections will be done, or the augmentation or improvement of the messages are being generated. So these corrected messages or the augmented messages are sent to the INLUS, that is your what we can say uplink stations. Okay, Indian Land Uplink Station, which further uplinks them to the 3 geostationary satellites that are GSAT 8, 10 and 15. This geo satellite broadcasts these correction messages on a GPS like signal. Any SBAS enabled GPS receiver can receive these GPS like signals which are having correction messages as well as the additional source for calculation user position with the accuracy better than 7.6 kilometers that can be achieved. I'll repeat it once again. I'll show you the figure. See here, these are your ground segment. Okay, these 3 things. What are the 3 things that you are having? This is Indian Navigation Reference Stations. You are having INRES. Then you are having Indian Machine Control Centers, that are 1, 2 and 3. 2 are in working, 1 is I have said that will be kept in shadow. In case of any emergency they will be used. Okay, then you are having here, this is the communication network, last one. Then these are the reference stations. Any number of n number of reference stations we have considered. Some may be using 8 reference stations or some may be using 15 reference stations. Fine. Then you are having a complete GPS space segment that is having GPS satellite, constellation of GPS as well as 3 geostationary satellites. The very first thing what happens, these GPS satellites will be giving the signals to the reference stations, and after these reference stations will be giving the information through a terrestrial link or a satellite through the satellite communication. This information is given to your control centers. Okay, these mission control centers, what they will be doing, they will be working on the corrections, the errors that have been there in these GPS signals. They will be correcting that one. Okay, they will be improving their accuracy, or they will be augmenting that particular signal, and they will forward that information to your uplink station. Okay, in here we call it as land uplink station, or you can also say at ground uplink station. So these uplink stations, okay, this will be giving the information to the geostationary satellites. Okay, this is the info. See here, you can see here the shaded part. This uplink station will be giving the information to your geostationary satellites. Here, this one, and this one. Here we are using 3 uplink stations. So the information is given to the geostationary satellites. From the geostationary satellites, the information is given to the Gagan users. Okay, this is how you will be getting. So one part will be given to the reference station also, so that they can also cross check whether the information what they have done or what they have given, the errors, because they have given the message, the signals from the GPS signal. They got the reference stations have got the message from the GPS signals with errors. So these geostationary satellites will also be giving the signal, so they can compare that whatever the errors they have given or shown, they have been mitigated or not, and your signal has been augmented or not. So they will be giving one signal to the reference station also, and others they will be given to the Gagan users. So this is how the working the architecture of your Gagan will be done. So I hope you are clear with this one, and you have to remember this reference INMCC, the control stations, mission control station, and the reference stations and the uplink stations. Clear, ma? I hope you are all clear with this one. Okay, so this is also small architecture of your Gagan. If you feel that is much difficult, then you can also draw this one, where you are having the reference stations here. That very first the GPS will be giving the signals to the reference stations. So these reference stations, what are the errors are there, that will be shown, and that will be given to your control centers. The control centers will be removing the errors, they will be improving the accuracy. Along with that one, they will also be giving you the information about your satellite health, and that information is all given to your land uplink stations, Indian Navigation land uplink station. Okay, that information is given to directly your geostationary satellites, that is navigation payload. I'll repeat it once again. Navigation payload is nothing but this will be broadcasting the augmented message or your improved message as of your GPS like signals only. Okay, this geostationary satellite will be forwarding GPS like signals to the users. So this is how your architecture of Gagan will be working. So I hope you are clear with all the architecture part. Whatever I have explained is here in the theoretical one. Okay, as I have said, GSAT, we are using 3 geostationary satellites in the space segment, that are GSAT 8, 10 and 15, and they will be at the 55 degrees of equatorial longitude and 80 degrees of equatorial longitude at 82 and 83. GSAT 10 will be at 82 degrees and GSAT 15 is at 83 degrees of longitude, and they were launched in the year of 2011, 12 and then 15, and they will be working on the K bands or the KU bands and the C bands. Okay, they will be extended, like they will also be used for the transponders, means they can transmit and they receive both at a time, and they will be having good power handling capability. Okay, so I'll show the exact figure on the map where you having the Gagan. See here at the Indian part, here this is the Gagan, your geo aided, this is the Gagan. So here on the map, if you want to see, as it is an Indian based navigation system, the Gagan, so it is situated over here in this place. So this is GPS aided. Sure. So this is your GPS aided geo augmented navigation system. So if you go and see here, I'll show one more figure also for this one. See here, these are the 3 geostationary satellites which will be shown on the map. So the Gagan is available here. See, you can see here, I hope it is clear. Gagan is here, and the space segment, the geostationary satellites which are present over here on the 55 degrees of equatorial, GSAT 8, and at 80 degrees of equatorial, that is GSAT 10, and the third one GSAT 15, which is at 80 degrees of your equatorial. So this is on map, overall on your world map, where they are actually located, your Gagan space segment coverage on your map. I hope it is very clear for you people. So this is the ground segment of your Gagan, which will be consisting of INRES, means the Indian reference stations. It may be either 8 or 15. I have said they will be depending upon the application, which will be collecting the data and sends it to the Indian Mission Control Center, where Indian Mission Control Center will be processing the data, which will be eliminating or removing the errors, and it also estimates the integrity and availability and sends all that information to the uplink data. That is nothing but the Indian Navigation uplink stations, so INLUS. So here it will be working on the frequency of 6455.2 megahertz, which will be consisting of 3 geostationary satellites that will be transmitting the corrections to the geostationary satellites. So if you see that your ground segment and master segment and uplink stations on the Indian map, then you can see that these land uplink stations are situated here at this part, the red ones. 3 uplink stations you are having. Okay, then master control centers, as I have said, 3 are there, but 2 are used. One is kept in shadow. So here there are 2 uplink this master control stations are here, and there are 8 reference stations. Either it may be 15 or 8, but here we are using only 8, which are located at your Ahmedabad, then your Jammu Kashmir, Delhi, Nagpur, Bhubaneswar, Calcutta, Guwahati, okay, etc. These are the places. This star marks shows that these are the reference stations, and these satellite images like antenna images shows you the uplink stations. Okay, Gagan land uplink stations, and these 2 the blue marks which shows you the master control centers. Okay, so this was about the Gagan's ground segment. As I have already explained about all the things about your reference stations and all, so this is the theoretical part that we'll be having. So I'll just quickly read it out for you people. So these reference stations will be collecting the measurement data, which will be and broadcast message from all the GPS and geostationary satellites in view, and it will be forwarding it to your control centers. Correct? All the information is collected by using reference stations, and that will be given to your master control centers, where this master control station or the mission control centers that will be working on network management, integrity monitoring, ionospheric or tropospheric delay estimation, then wide area correction, suppression of the errors, and other orbital errors that are also determined by using your mission control centers. Then afterwards the information is given to your Indian Navigation Uplink Station, which means that it receives the messages containing user differential range errors, means you have the ionospheric errors or the tropospheric or the orbital errors, all that will be collected by using or received by using your uplink stations. Okay, then these messages are transmitted then to the geostationary navigation satellites, or format these messages and I'll repeat it once again. These messages have been transmitted to the geostationary satellites navigation payload for the broadcast to the users. Okay, then it also provides the geostationary satellite ranging information and also correction to the geostationary satellite clocks. Then lastly you will be having a TEC station to collect. TEC is, what is TEC? You have to answer this one. What is TEC? Total dash count. What is E? That you have to answer. So to collect GPS data using dual frequency receiver, and to monitoring ionospheric errors and as well as your TEC, and to collect data is also useful for modeling ionospheric time delays. So this was all about your Gagan architecture and the working of your Gagan. So I hope you are all clear with this Gagan, a very interesting topic. Okay, this was about Gagan. The last one which I have said about TEC, that is your total electron counter. So it will be there or it will not be there stations, but for the reference I have told that this TEC stations will also be providing as to collect the GPS data, will also be monitoring your ionospheric errors and total electrons counts which are present there, and it will also be collecting the data which is useful for monitoring your ionospheric time delays. Okay, So I hope you are all clear with the Gagan. That is what are the reference station, what are the ground segment, space segment, and user segment which is present there. And the architecture, this one is very important for this one, which will be consisting of the ground segment, space segment, and user segment. So I hope you are all clear with this one. In case of any doubts, please do let me know. So I'll wind up the class here itself. In next class, we'll be seeing the next part of or the next category of your SBAS system. So this is the next category, that is your IGNOS. So it will be used by European countries, right? So Gagan was your Indian, which was organized or which was developed by ISRO and AAI people. What is AAI? Airport Authority of India. They both in combination they have developed this one. So this was about your Gagan. In next class we are going to see IGNOS as well. I'll also try to wind up masses over there in the next class, so that because time is very less and we have to wind up very fast. So in case of any doubts related to this topic, please do let me know and maintain the notes also. Thank you. I'll wind up the class here itself. Thank you.